A man suddenly discovers that the wife he paid $2 million to marry has run off with another guy. Furious, he storms over to confront her, but what she says leaves him completely stunned.
Excuse me. Do I know you?
He can't believe his wife of 5 years is pretending not to know him. Just as he's about to lose it, things take an even stranger turn. His wife actually calls over a total stranger and says this is her real husband. And get this, the name on the other guy's clothing is identical to his own.
You know this man?
No.
I'm her husband. Would you mind just getting him away from us, please?
The man is now beyond furious. He demands to know why she's doing this to him, but his wife just stays silent. The hotel manager assumes he's some kind of troublemaker and has him forcibly removed. Jack thought proving his identity would clear everything up, but what happens next completely shatters his sense of reality. Jack asks the hotel to pull the security footage from when he and his wife checked in, hoping to prove their relationship, but to his shock, the footage only shows his wife alone. That's when Jack remembers he'd been outside checking the luggage, and his wife had handled the check-in by herself. Seeing the manager still doesn't believe him, Jack reveals he's a PhD in biology. Just look him up online and the truth will come out. But the moment his profile loads, Jack is left speechless. The photo on the page is the man impersonating him. Jack is completely lost. His memories feel so vivid, why is nothing matching up? The hotel manager runs out of patience and threatens to call the cops. Jack pulls out a hospital business card to prove he was in a car accident a few days ago that left him with brain trauma. A few days earlier, while checking in with his wife, Jack realized one piece of luggage was missing. He grabbed a cab back to the airport, but halfway there, a refrigerator slid off the truck in front of them. The female driver swerved to avoid it and accidentally drove the car straight into the river. On impact, Jack's head slammed into the windshield and he blacked out. Luckily, the driver escaped, smashed the window, and pulled him out. But when the ambulance arrived, she quietly slipped away. Jack woke up in the hospital 4 days later. In all that time, his wife never once contacted him. He tried to call her but couldn't remember her number. All he had were fragments of memories from their life together. The doctor explained that head trauma can cause partial memory loss, but it usually comes back over time. All Jack remembered was that he was a biology PhD. As for why he and his wife were even in this city, he couldn't recall. Then by chance, he saw a news report about an upcoming biotech summit, and it clicked, that's why they'd flown in. But when he finally tracked down his wife, things took this insane turn. Jack figures she must be under duress, too scared to acknowledge him. After getting kicked out, he peeks through the hotel window to watch her, but seeing how affectionate she is with the other guy, she sure doesn't look like a hostage. Jack's confused, but his gut tells him he's not wrong. Maybe she has a reason she can't explain. He needs to prove his identity fast. Every minute he wastes, the more danger she could be in. He tries calling his colleague back in the States to vouch for him, but the phone switched off. No matter how many times he tries, nothing. Just then, he notices a car nearby that's been tailing him ever since he left the hotel. Jack realizes something's very wrong. To test his theory, he ducks into a subway station and sure enough, a suspicious man follows him in, footsteps quickening, closing the gap, like he's terrified of losing him. Jack's panic spikes. He bolts for the platform. The man speeds up too. At the last possible second before the doors close, Jack squeezes into the train, leaving the guy stranded outside. Now Jack's certain that man works with the people at the hotel, but he can't figure out why. He's just a biologist. He's never crossed anyone. What do they want from him? Once he calms down, he remembers he and his wife were invited to the summit by a professor. Though they'd never met in person, they spoke often by phone. Surely he can prove his identity by recounting their conversations. But when Jack reaches the professor's laugh, he's stunned all over again. The imposter is already there. Jack angrily insists the man is a fake. To prove it, he repeats conversations only he and the professor would know every detail perfectly. The professor starts to believe him. But then the fake Jack speaks up and recites the exact same conversations, with just as much detail. Jack loses it. The two argue fiercely, eventually speaking in perfect sync. The professor has no idea who's real anymore. Then the police arrive. Jack tries to strike first, demanding they arrest the imposter. But the fake Jack pulls out a passport and to Jack's horror, it has a photo of him with his wife. In Jack's memory, he had that exact same photo. Only now, the man in it has somehow been swapped out. His head spins. He collapses. When he wakes up, he's in a hospital. A sympathetic nurse refers him to a private detective who might be able to help. By now, Jack can't even tell if his memories are real or hallucinations. The doctor suggests his brain injury may have scrambled his recollections, turning things he saw into things he thinks he lived. On the doctor's advice, Jack agrees to an MRI, but as the scan ends, he spots the same man who tailed him earlier, now disguised as a doctor. Jack's been sedated and can't move. The man wheels him away, ties him down, and starts injecting an unknown substance into his fore. Jack realizes this guy's here to silence him, which means his memories must be real after all. Just then, the nurse walks in. The fake doctor claims he's transferring Jack to another hospital, but the moment she gets close, he snaps her neck. While he steps out to check the coast, Jack spots a pair of scissors on her chest. He reaches, but he's strapped down. The drugs are already flowing into his veins. The second the man steps back in, Jack grabs the scissors. The man doesn't notice. As he turns to deal with the body, Jack cuts himself loose. By the time the killer realizes, Jack is gone. Weak as he is, the chaos of incoming emergency patients gives him cover. He sneaks onto a fire truck and escapes. Now he's certain someone's framing him, but why? He has no clue. After much thought, he calls his wife's hotel room, hoping for answers, but it's the imposter who picks up. That's the moment Jack truly loses hope. He pulls out the nurse's card and heads to the detective's address.
You believe me?
I believe you're telling the truth, Doctor.
The detective tells him every lie has a crack. He suggests Jack track down Annie, the female cab driver, since that's where this whole mess began. Jack finds Annie again. For the sake of $1 million watch, she agrees to meet the detective the next day. With nowhere else to go, Jack crashes at her place. Meanwhile, the detective digs in. Online, he finds info on the professor Jack mentioned who's about to host a global academic summit. One key attendee, the Persian crown prince. His country's at war, and he's already survived multiple terrorist attacks. The old man is starting to put the pieces together. Back at Annie's place, Jack's about to take a cold shower when the doorbell rings. Annie thinks it's a neighbor, but it's the bespectacled killer with backup. Annie's subdued instantly. Jack hears the commotion. The killer searches the apartment but can't find him. Spotting the open window, he climbs out after him. But as the killer descends the ladder, he doesn't realize Jack is hiding right behind him. Meanwhile, Blasa senses something off and uses Annie as a hostage to search. Jack ambushes him from behind, knocking the weapon away. But he's no match for the guy. Just in time, Annie clocks him out cold. They don't waste a second, they bolt. Now they're in this together. The next day, they regroup with the detective. The old man thinks he knows the motive. The prince's situation is tied to powerful interests, and Jack's identity is the only one that gives someone access to him. He believes they're planning an assassination at the summit. Jack doesn't deny it, but without proof. Finding his wife is the only way to learn the truth. They split up. Annie tails the fake husband. Jack sneaks in to find his wife, but she tells him she can't leave if she does. They'll kill her whole family. She tells him to find his missing briefcase and meet her at the airport. Jack tries to push for answers, but she gives him no chance. She walks away without looking back. Meanwhile, the detective gets home and receives a mysterious call. A man claiming to be Jack's old friend wants to meet. After hanging up, the detective feels a creeping unease. The man arrives soon after, curious why the detective took this case.
There's not much in this world left to interest an old spy like me.
You had time after I called you. Why didn't you run?
Where should I run? From Section 15, Mr. Cole?
He's dropped the act now, but when he demands the list of everyone Jack has contacted, the detective suddenly staggers, knowing he can't escape. He's chosen to swallow poison instead. Meanwhile, Jack reaches the airport. Without ID, he can't get far, but he remembers the briefcase combination and finally retrieves it. Looking at the photo of his wife inside, Annie knows it's time to go. She returns the watch and vanishes into the crowd. As Jack waits per his wife's instructions, he runs into an old friend.
Sorry to drag you into this. Oh, don't be. We've been friends for 15 years. I know you do the same for me.
Jack would never have guessed his lifelong friend is one of the assassins. As they prepare to leave, the killer suddenly tastes Jack unconscious. Annie sees the whole thing. They take Jack to an abandoned building, and what the man tells him next leaves Jack speechless.
Doesn't matter to you. He's your legend. You just made him up as a killer to get into the county.
The man who created his identity was Jack himself. Even his wife was fake. They're all part of Sector 15. The only real thing was the car accident. Because of it, the organization had to activate Plan B. But when Jack woke up, he mistook the implanted memories for reality. The man turns to leave. Just as they're about to finish Jack off, Annie comes flying in, ready to fight back with a gun. She slams the gas pedal and sends both killers crashing off the building. In the box they left behind, Jack finds his real identity. Everything the man said was true, he made it all up himself. And now, all his memories come flooding back. 3 months ago, they had it all planned. They'd planted bombs in the Summit Hotel.
We are killers. Brent Shadow's gonna be assassinated tonight.
What matters is what you do remember.
Everything was running smoothly. The prince has just arrived. The fake wife has armed the bombs. But maybe those false memories awaken Jack's conscience. He decides to stop the tragedy. He and Annie sneak into the hotel and are spotted by security immediately. The manager assumes he's back to cause trouble at the summit. But this time, Jack tells him there's a bomb. After everything, the manager doesn't buy it. Desperate, Jack admits he planted them and demands they check the security footage from 3 months ago. The moment the manager sees it, he believes him. Alarms blare. Guests evacuate. The fake couple realizes something's wrong. The woman tells the man to take out the target while she goes back to disarm the bombs and buy in time. Then Jack spots a familiar face on the monitors and suddenly understands everything. The attack on the prince was just a smokescreen. They wanted to pin it on terrorists. The real goal? To steal the professor's research. That single piece of technology would give the organization global leverage. Just as the killer makes his move, Jack tackles him, but the fake wife is in trouble too. Then, a massive explosion rocks the hotel. Jack climbs out of the rubble. With his memories back, he's like a force of nature. He takes the man down in seconds. With Annie's help, they escape the hotel. Jack forges a new identity for Annie. and they finally get to live the life they always wanted. That's it for today's video. See you in the next movie.